again for joining us this evening for our new rider orientation. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And Adnan, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Perfect. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. So our agenda tonight is as follows. We're going to kind of do an event overview. I want to try to give you guys as much information to ensure that you have a great experience. So we're going to be talking about the event. Then we're going to kind of move into doing some fundraising 101, kind of talk through some tips, some tricks, some tools, because, you know, we've got to meet that $250 fundraising minimum. So we're going to be spending a little bit of time talking about fundraising. We're going to talk about some upcoming important dates. So you can add those into, you know, I always do this to put in a calendar because I still like to use an old school calendar, but, you know, put it into your calendar. And then I'm really excited to turn the floor over to Adnan Kadir, our special guest speaker this evening. He is going to be talking about our brand new, shiny, fabulous training program. So he'll be telling you all about that. And then we're going to open the floor up for some questions and some answers, and then I'll let you get back to your evening. So we'll just go ahead and dive right in. So this is kind of a very high level overview of our event schedule for the weekend. This next week, the official schedule will go out with times, a lot more detail, but this is just kind of a big overview of what our event weekend looks like. So Friday, we like to call Friday fun time. You know, we have check-in, people are arriving, they're going to pick up their packets. We have a Friday night short show where we give out some prizes, we have some fun, we make some announcements, and then we have our Bikeoke, world-renowned Bikeoke, which is just karaoke, but we have a lot of fun hanging out, enjoying each other's company. So Friday is all about the fun and getting ready for our ride days. So we start bright and early on Saturday, hitting the road. The start line opens at 6:30 a.m. For those of you that are doing longer routes, you're going to want to kind of get out before the heat of the day. Our start line closes at 8:30. So even if you're doing a more casual ride, you got to be out the door at that time at 8:30. And then we close everything. The route closes at 5 p.m. on Saturday. Then we get to go back into fun time. We have had a great ride day, but now we're back in Rider Village, hanging out and having fun. So we have our Saturday night program where we feature a lot of great stories from people that live with MS, really connect everyone to our mission. We also give out really fun awards, and you're not going to want to miss the program this year. Let's just say there's going to be something really fun we're going to be talking about during our Saturday night program. Then we have our movie Under the Stars, presented this year by Swire Coca-Cola USA. Our featured film is The Wizard of Oz. We have popcorn, we have candy, we're going to have Coke floats. It's a really good time. And then, you know, we're wrapping things up. Bright and early Sunday morning, we start the day with the heart and the soul of our entire event weekend, our I Ride with MS Victory Lap, which starts promptly at 7:15. We let anyone that lives with MS, they get to do a 1 mile loop around the campus. Everybody comes out and cheers. It's really exciting. We open up at 7:30. We close route at 8:15. And then we kind of close down the whole event at 1 o'clock is when the route closes. We do a really big Sunday barbecue, and don't worry, vegetarians and vegans, we have lots of delicious things for you that are also barbecued. So it's a really fun way to kind of end the weekend, get a really great ride weekend, finish it off with some fabulous barbecue, and then everybody heads home. So let's talk accommodations. You know, got an idea of what the flow of the weekend looks like, but you know, where do we stay? What do we do for accommodations? So we have several options. The first is tent camping. It's free. It is first come, first serve. At the university, there is a football field, and so we set up our tents in the football field. We also have RV parking. However, there's no water or sewer or electric services, so it's really just the parking lot where people can park their campers. That is also free. We are also at Western Oregon University, so we do have dorms available to stay at. So we have different kinds. We have like single bedrooms, double bedrooms. We also have more apartment style dorms available. So those of you that are coming with a family or you're coming with your team, the apartments can be a really good option for that. And they're fairly, inexpensive. It's a really good economic option. For those of you that like to live large like me, I like to live large. There is a beautiful boutique hotel called the Independence Hotel. It is a little pricey. I will tell you that right now. It's a little on the pricey side, but the Independence Hotel is great partners of ours. They volunteer during our event weekend, and they do have a code for 10% off. Just use the code BIKEMS22. I will say that they are starting to book up. So if you haven't booked yet and you want to live large like Emily Rios and you want to stay at the hotel, make sure that you get that booked sooner rather than later. They'll take very good care of you. Okay, let's talk my favorite thing of the event weekend. People are like, what's your favorite thing? Food, of course. I love food. So let's talk a little bit about what is in store from a food and beverage perspective. So we do have a beer garden that is presented by Breakside Brewing. We have cider, beer, and wine. You get 3 drink tickets for Friday and 3 drink tickets for Saturday. We also do Friday night when we're having our fun. We have a taco bar. It is self-pay unless you win taco cash, which that is going to be coming up in future fundraising competitions. But that's something that you'll pay for yourself. Saturday, we take care of your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner. And on Sunday, we take care of your breakfast and your barbecue for Sunday. So your lunch, your breakfast, and your lunch. Full menus coming soon. So now we've kind of done a little bit of that event overview. Now we're going to move into a little bit of that fundraising 101. So I always like to kind of come out and remind everyone, what are we all working towards? Each of you have your own personal goals. Each of you will be meeting a fundraising minimum, but what are we doing collective as an entire Willamette Valley event? Well, this year our fundraising event goal is $425,000. Every dollar that you raise makes a difference, and we are pedaling that way right now. We're sitting a little over $100,000 currently, so we've made some really great strides, but we've got a little ways to go. So as I said, friendly reminder, I'm sure all of you know this, but I like to take the opportunity to say it. Riders are required to meet a $250 fundraising minimum. So I know that for those of you that have maybe never done peer-to-peer fundraising, that can be like a lot. But I like to say, ask your friends, 10 friends, donate $25, or ask 25 friends to give you 10. If you break it down, it actually feels a lot more achievable.
I actually did have a question.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I was doing or planning on doing volunteer work for the event. I wasn't actually planning on riding. So is this a meeting I don't need to be a part of, or because I wasn't actually going to ride? I was just going to volunteer my time.
Then wonderful. Then you can either stay and just listen and learn, or feel free if you need to hop.
Okay. All right.
Obviously for volunteers, we do not require a fundraising minimum to volunteer.
Okay. All right. I just thought I'd ask to make sure I'm in the right place.
Of course. So. Great question.
Thank you.
So I was going to say, we do have a lot of tools at your disposal that you can use to help you get to that fundraising minimum or exceed it. You don't have to just do the 250. You can keep going because, like I said, every dollar makes a really big difference. So in your fundraising center, you have templated emails that you can send out. You have Facebook fundraising, which a lot of people have great success with. There's also a text feature in our BikeMS app where you can actually text your friends and family to donate to your fundraising. Think about matching programs. A lot of corporations offer matching programs. So through your employer. So definitely ask about that. And I always like to say, ask and see what happens. I think a lot of people can be, as soon as they kind of dip their toe in the water, they're really surprised at how much generosity actually exists within their friends and family network. So ask and see what happens. And like I said, you don't have to stop at the fundraising minimum. Oops, sorry about that. It just kept on moving without me. As you reach different milestones, there are great prizes that you can earn. So, when you hit $500, you can choose between Bike MS socks that are super cool or a water bottle with Bike MS on it. When you reach $1,000, you can choose a pullover or a blanket. Then you get into the really good prizes, right? As you kind of go up, you have these different prize levels. But I also want to make sure that I mention that if you raise $1,000 or more, not only do you get either a pullover or a blanket, you'll also get our beautiful event jersey. So this was the design that was selected on at our kickoff party a couple weeks ago. So raise $1,000 or more and you'll get our event jersey. I also want to put out there that if you just find yourself rolling, making all this cool stuff happen to defeat MS forever, and you become one of our top 50 fundraisers, you join our top 50 club. So there's some really cool stuff that goes along with that. Special perks. You get free registration for next year's event. You get a special bib with your name on it that corresponds to your rank. You get all kinds of VIP goodies. So like I said, don't stop at just the fundraising minimum. See how far you can go. So upcoming important dates, just to kind of get those calendars out. We will have a registration price increase coming up on Monday, July 25th. It will go from $60 to $70. So if you have a best friend, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a husband, a wife, a niece, a nephew, whatever, that is like, oh yeah, I want to do Bike MS, make sure that they get registered before this price increase, or they'll have to pay more for the registration. If you haven't started fundraising yet, or if you're just kind of getting started, I do want to make sure that I mention that our second fundraising week is coming up. It'll start on Monday, June 27th and go till Sunday, July 3rd. And the prize is really good. It might be the best prize we've ever had for a fundraising week. And your hint for what that prize is, because I'm not going to tell you, is voltage. Your hint is voltage. And I do also want to make sure that I put out there that our packet pickup. So of course you can get all of your stuff Friday night at the event, but if you're someone that likes to kind of have things a little early, or you would rather just kind of park and jump into all the fun stuff, we do have a packet pickup on Saturday, July 30th from 10 to 1 at our chapter offices. There's more information coming about that, though will totally be lots of emails about it. So don't worry about, I don't know where the chapter offices are. Don't worry, we'll give you the address, but it is here in Portland. And finally, before I turn things over to my good friend, I just want to kind of throw this out one more time. Additional tools that you can use for all sorts of things, fundraising and preparing for the event. Of course, we have our Bike MS website under ride details. Scroll through there. There's different categories. Click the little arrow, see what's been posted. We're constantly adding things to the website. I mentioned earlier that we do have our Bike MS app where you can do text fundraising, ask your friends and family via text. It also has mobile check deposit, which is awesome. It's a great thing, especially if you have friends, family that still like to give a physical check. You can get it into your fundraising account within 48 hours. There's also challenges and badges. It's a lot of fun, so definitely check out the Bike MS app. And of course, my final plug is to join our Facebook event page. We're really trying to get away from a lot of email. Everybody gets so much email. And so we're really trying to use our Facebook page to do announcements, to do reminders, to give you big news. The first place that's going to find out what that fundraising week prize is the Facebook page. We're going to put that there first. So definitely connect with that because it's a great way to stay up to date on everything going on with our event. Okay, it's my favorite time of our meetup. I get to sit back, relax, and enjoy. I'm going to turn things over to my dear friend, Adnan Kadir. He is going to talk a little bit about our brand new, shiny, fabulous training program that's powered by VeloPro, which he just happens to be the owner of. So I'm gonna let you take it away, Adnan.
Okay, I guess I'll just introduce myself and then I'll share my screen. So my name's Adnan Kadir. I live in Portland, very close to Emily, and I've been involved with Bike MS for about 7 or 8 years, and around the same time, I started in my work as a professional cycling coach to start developing a training application that would help riders who don't want to maybe pay the full price for a coach. My services start about $350 a month, so you can imagine not everyone wants to pay that, but that would give them some training guidance. And so with a couple of partners, I came up with what is now a partner of Bike MS, VeloPro. So it's a dynamic training system that uses artificial intelligence to help you train optimally. I should probably add that when I became involved with Bike MS, it was in California at the Waves to Wine ride, which I still do every year. And I'm not always, but usually a top fundraiser because I'm not sure why. I think I just have very generous friends. And going back to what Emily was saying about raising money, you might be surprised when you start to ask your friends how generous they can be. So you set your goal at 250, but don't be surprised if you exceed that, especially if you have a good sort of passionate plea for the cause. So it evolved from doing Bike MS Waves to Wine to helping Emily out with her ride, and then becoming a member of the local board of trustees here in Portland. So all that stuff happened right around the same time that VeloPro, my company, became a national partner of the MS Society. So I'm going to give you a quick run through how the system works, and you guys can sign up if you like. Two important things around that. One is that the first month is free for everybody. And two, if you do decide to sign up, the cost is $10 a month, and half of that, $5 a month, goes to the National MS Society. So at the moment, it's not linked into your fundraise for the ride, but it is part of the giving to the National MS Society. So I'm ready to share. Can I share?
Yes, I think you can. I stopped sharing, so you can take over. You can drive now.
Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so this is the interface for the VeloPro training system as it corresponds to Bike MS. And so it's at bikems.velopro.bike, and it gives you a little rundown on the system and what we're about and our association with the Bike MS ride. So I don't have actually a unique login to that, and so I'm just going to use my demonstration login to my own account, which looks like this. So when you log in, once you're logged in, the interface is the same. So it'll look the same, except for up here, it'll say Bike MS, training powered by VeloPro. So when you go in, you get a little bit, when you start, you input your sort of critical data. So your age, your level of riding experience, basic things like that, your resting heart rate, And then the system builds a little profile of you as a rider. After that, you input your goals, which, as you can see, in my case, is Bike MS Willamette Valley. And so from that, the system takes the rider data that you input and it builds you a training plan, and it sort of predicts your, as you can see on this chart, it sort of predicts your progress. Now, the prediction is just based on that limited data, so it may or may not be accurate. But as you go about your training and you input your training data, the system learns about you and gets better at, one, predicting where you're going to end up, and two, giving you training that actually benefits you. And so you can kind of see your whole trajectory here. This is a demo account, so I haven't uploaded a ton of rides, but basically the green are completed rides, the black are my prescribed rides. And so we get to the heart of it. Once you sign in, you'll get a training plan, and it'll just put it on a little calendar. So every day has detailed workout, gives you the exact amount of time in every zone and the overall time for your workout. It gives you ranges in power, ranges in heart rate. And if you don't have a power meter or heart rate monitor, it's okay. You can just use good old rate of perceived exertion. From, wow, this is easy, to 10, which is, dang, this is really hard. That's where I like to spend as little time as possible. Also, you can manipulate your plan a little bit. So, for example, well, I already did it. Tomorrow I can't ride, so it's time off. But what if I can't ride on Saturday? I can just mark it as unavailable, and the system will then take that workout, which happens to be an easy one, and get rid of it, and it'll rejig the rest of the workouts behind it. Now, say I get to Sunday Saturday, whichever day this is, this day, and I don't actually have the time to do all this, or it's raining, which is exactly what it's predicted to do. I can click on the day, and my other option, besides marking it unavailable, is to convert it to an indoor workout. So I can do that, and the workout is 1 hour and 45 minutes, but once you convert it to an indoor workout, it reduces that overall time to 1 hour, and it ups the intensity a little bit. And so you can see the modified workout. Now, in addition to that, if you use a trainer, a smart trainer, or a Garmin device, you can download the workout as either an ERG file or a Zwift file. And in case you don't know, Zwift are a sort of indoor training application that kind of gamifies training a little bit. And they are also a Bike MS partner. And so you can download the file and input it into your Zwift account, and it'll run you through your workout that day. So at the moment, when you change to a trainer workout, it reduces it to 1 hour. But in the future, you'll be able to have a choice of reducing it to 1 hour or keeping it at the original time. So that's what the workouts look like. And as you progress, you'll upload your data. I would encourage you to get a Strava account if you don't have one, and just connect your VeloPro account to your Strava account. I forget how we do it exactly. It's import from Strava, and it'll run you through an automatic connection. So every time you finish a workout and you push stop on your computer, it shoots it to Strava, which automatically shoots it to VeloPro, which then automatically updates your training program. So on the ride page, it gives you basic stats, and then you can actually click on a ride and see the details around what that ride was. You can see this one obviously is in Portland. This is one of my favorite kind of go-to rides. It gives you some ride data. You can mess around with the stats, things like that, zoom in on stuff. And it gives you basic kind of things to play with, but and kind of dig a little bit deeper into your workouts. But the whole idea behind VeloPro is that the system keeps you from needing to have a coach or to be a data analyst. It just does the work for you. So you just follow the plan, upload the rides, and the system takes care of the rest. Cool. So then you can go to the goals page. And so here you see my only 2 goals that ever really matter. Bike MS Willamette Valley and Bike MS Waves to Wine. And so, of course, anytime you want, you can add a goal. You can add priority B goals and C goals, and the system will adjust everything so that you can stay on track to peaking for your A goals and still be good for your B goals. And finally, we just have a little stats page. It gives you all your training zones, which are determined from your initial data input as well as your training over time. So it explains what those exactly are and how they correspond to your heart rate ranges and your RPE. You get a summary of your training, kind of just some general stuff. Also, I should probably point out that we have a really great knowledge base, which kind of runs you, which will answer just about any question you have, and let you learn more about training, what it means, how to do it. And if you do have a question, you can always just ask us. Every single page in VeloPro has a little, whoops, Emily's down in the corner, but in the bottom right corner, you can usually see a little chat box, and that brings up a dialog box which allows you to search the knowledge base. And if you don't find what you need, just ask a question, and one of us here at VeloPro will get back to you with an answer. And so with that, I am going to stop sharing my screen and answer your questions. Can't figure out how to stop sharing.
That's okay. I'll take it back.
Okay.
Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yes, great. Yes, thank you, Adnan, for this time this evening to talk through this really impressive new feature within Bike MS. It's really a powerful tool, and we're very fortunate that you are so supportive of Oregon and the Oregon market, and of course, Bike MS Willamette Valley. Let me tell you, friends, this is the only place you can really see Adnan and talk to Adnan. So we're very, very lucky. So yes, we are now going to open the floor for questions and answers. You can ask Adnan questions about the training program. If you have any event questions, you can ask them of me. This is really your time to ask away. And if you're just sitting there feeling like I've got no questions, well then, man, we did a good job this evening. Connie, I think you're muted. Let's see. Oh, there
Sorry.
you are. No
I just have a question about on the route.
Mm-hmm.
Is there visible signs on on the turns and on the route? So as a new rider, I don't get lost because I'm slow.
Of course, great question. We actually partner with a professional cycling company that goes out and marks our route. There are very visible, bright signage points, arrows pointing forward, to the right, to the left. You can also download Ride with GPS. You can download the route into your computer, your cycling computer, and that will also kind of help direct you on that. But yes, we take a lot of pride that our route is very well marked. Adnan, you were a route marshal last year. Can you confirm the signage?
Yeah, actually, it's some of the best route marking I've ever seen. It's really thorough, really clear. And then there'll be riders like me, route marshals, who will be there to kind of help people. We'll be kind of roving around, and we have really distinctive red jerseys that say Ride Marshal and Bike MS on them. So yeah, you don't need a GPS device or anything like that. Of course, that's helpful, but the routes are really very clear.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Great question. Other questions? That's a good one, Connie. Oh, Greg, yes, you've got your hand raised. Go ahead and ask your question.
I thought I'd try that and see if it works. I've got kind of a related question. I'm wondering if there's a point where we select our routes before the ride starts, or is that something we do the morning of?
So we are a little bit unique in that we do not require you to tell us what routes you want to do. You can kind of go into it saying to yourself, well, I really want to do the Century. I'm working towards a Century ride. And even halfway through the ride, you can change your mind. We are in a loop, right? We're in a big circle. All of the routes kind of overlap with one another. So there's a lot of points where you can decide, it's a hot day, we're having a lot of wind, not going to reach that Century, I'm going to just go the 80, or I'm going to go the 60. You can kind of do that, or vice versa. Maybe you're out there, you're feeling it, you're feeling good, and you just want to keep going. You can do the same thing because of the way that they overlap. But we do not require for you to tell us what your intention is for your route. It is a choose your own adventure.
Cool, thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
just a comment, I appreciate the fact that you have so many different lengths and routes to choose from. That's a good idea.
Yes, we take great pride in that. Something for everyone. We really want to appeal to people who are new to cycling and people who are avid cyclists. So we have something for everyone. And our 18-20 miler is really nice. It's a great ride. That'd be the one that I would do, by the way, everybody. Adnan can attest to that. He might even say she might not make it the full 20. She might have to turn around in the middle.
I don't know. You're pretty determined, but all the routes are really beautiful. I mean, Willamette Valley is such a great place to ride, and so summertime, everything's blooming. It's all really nice. You can't really go wrong.
A lot of hazelnut trees.
A lot of hazelnut trees.
Filbert trees, right? Yes. Other questions? Michael Lane, you've got your hand raised. Michael, what's your question?
Yeah, so Adnan, thanks for letting us use that that service for training. I was wondering, I don't really know how much or what I should set for my goal. I don't do often. Using that program, will it be able to predict like what a reasonable duration is based on training, or is it kind of like you set a goal and then you train towards it?
Right. So yeah, so when you go through the initial setup, or when you just add a goal, it gives you a lot of parameters around those goals. So you don't really set a goal for the distance, but you set a goal for the duration. If it's a 1-day ride or a 2-day ride, or for example, at this ride, if you're doing both days or just one, you set it either 2 or 1. And then you set the ride type. And so we have programming for everything from road races to rando events to gravel and stuff like that. But for this type of event, we will soon have Bike MS specific language in there, but really what it is the equivalent of is the Century Gran Fondo kind of training protocol. And so when you go through the goal setup, I could actually demonstrate it if you want. You just you just choose the goal type of Century Gran Fondo and go from there. You guys want to see that, or?
Yeah, let's see it. Why not?
Yeah.
We're here.
All right.
Let's see it.
Okay, I'm sharing again. Let's see. Whoops, knowledge base. Okay, so go home, and then go to goals, and let's see. I'll just add a goal, and I'll call it Emily's Crazy Ride. Of course, that'll be my first priority. You can choose A or B priorities. Really, VeloPro focuses on your A priorities, but B is for you to sort of keep track and use those B goals on your way to your A goal. And then the goal type, here's the drop down for that. Sonkol's Challenge is another event we support in Europe that is kind of brutally hard. It's 100 alpine summits in 10 days. So don't choose that because that is brutal. Century Gran Fondo is really what most of us are looking for. These are all more racing oriented events down here and some mountain bike stuff. So you'll choose Century Gran Fondo, pick a goal date. Let's see, Emily's Crazy Ride will probably be the end of August. Let's give it for an example, and it's a 2-day ride. So then you choose your base period. Now, the base period gives you a lot of endurance work, which is the foundation for what you're going to be doing. So when you train, you build on top of endurance work a little bit of speed work and some intervals and things like that. Things that don't necessarily make you faster, but also give you better endurance, make you faster if that's the type of event you're training for, and just kind of fill out your fitness. But the foundation of all that is your base. And so this option is for people who have been riding, people who haven't been riding, people who are new. So if you haven't been riding at all, you choose no base period. You know, if you're well into your summer of riding, you can just do normal or even half base period if you're in pretty good shape. So I'll choose none. And then it creates the goal. And now it's just going to add it to my plan. So that's the great. And so then on my dashboard, swing this out here a little bit. I have Bike MS Willamette Valley, Waves to Wine, and then shortly thereafter, a bunch of rest and a little bit of build right to Emily's crazy ride demonstration ride. So that is how that works. Did that answer your question?
Oh yeah, for sure. Thanks very much.
Cool.
Awesome. Okay, other questions? All welcome. Emily Gibson, you've got a question. Go ahead.
I just had two quick questions. The first one was the tent camping at the event. Is there bathrooms and easily accessible, etc.?
Yes. So our rider village is in the Grove. That's and then Ackerman Dorm is right behind it, right across the road. That's where we start. Actually, right there. There's our start finish line. So right across the street is where the tent camping is. So there are porta potties nearby the start finish line. You can also walk over to Ackerman and use the restrooms there. We also have a shower house, and then we also have the university stadium that's also open. So you kind of have different points depending on like where you can pitch your tent, right? It might be closer to go to the porta potties. It might be closer to go to the university restrooms. So you do have access to that. Yes.
Lots of options. Cool.
Lots of options.
The other question is, I was looking on Facebook for the Facebook group, and I found a Bike MS Willamette Valley Riders group, but I don't think that's it.
That's not us. That's like a old group. So if you do Bike MS Willamette Valley 2022, it should pop up.
Okay.
Yeah. And if for some reason you can't find it, send me a little message and I'll send you the link.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, of course. Other questions? Raise your hand or unmute yourself. Shout it out to the group. Greg, got another question.
Yes, I'm curious if there's any bike security. I did an AIDS ride maybe 10 years ago, and they had a fenced area where you could put your bikes overnight. So I'm curious if you have anything like that.
Yes, great question. We do have a bike corral that is going to be inside one of the university buildings, and it is monitored by volunteers during the open hours. So when you come in, you have to match your bib to your bike tag, and volunteers will check that. And then overnight, we lock it up. Nobody can get into it except security and or the production staff.
Excellent. That sounds great.
Yeah, we encourage everyone to put their bikes there so that they're just not hundreds of bikes all over Rider Village, you know. So it is the most safe and secure way to keep your bike safe. Other questions? Looks like Mike's jumping up. That's okay. I've kept you a little over this evening. But if there are no more questions, then we'll call it a day and I'll let you get back to your evening. But last call for questions. Okay. So thank you all so much for being here. We hope that we answered your questions. We hope that we gave you a good idea of what's to come. We're super excited to spend the event weekend with you, and we hope you are too. If you have any questions, if you need anything, you can call, you can text, you can email. I am here to make sure that you have a great bike weekend. So thank you all so much. Thank you to Adnan Kadir for being with us this evening and talking about
Emily.
our new training program. And we'll see you in like what, 48 days? Something like that?
It's coming
Yeah.
right up.
Thanks
Sounds
very much for
great.
having us.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone. Have a
Bye,
great
everyone.
evening.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.